everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Monica Morgan, and today I'm going to be bringing you 10 cards from one kit, the Spellbinders card kit of the month for March of 2019. I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be what I call my country charm card. I'm using a lot of the pattern paper that came in the pack, and I'm combining it all together, and sometimes it's like putting polka dots and stripes and everything together. Somehow it just works. And I wanted to make that a little bit sturdier than paper, so I put a piece of cardstock on the back that I die cut as well. And I'm adhering one of the pieces of ephemera, that butterfly. And when I trimmed that off the edge, it's nice, but I wish I had pushed a little bit more over that oval, because either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it, right? So now I'm just trying to continue the color and the look of those three pattern papers into the other side of the artwork, if you will. And before we get going too far along in the video, I just want to make it real clear that I'm not getting paid to do this. I don't know the people at Spellbinders. I'm just doing this to have fun and to grow my YouTube channel. So I hope you like it. So now I'm going to use some of the sentiments that came from that sticker pack there. And I just think they came out so cute and so perfect. And I'm going to attach one of my favorite flowers, but I wish I was thinking I could have used one that came with the kit. So this one didn't come with the kit, but you can get one that looks even better from the kit. My country charm. Okay, for this card, I wanted to do some stamping, use the stamping kit that came, the stamps that came with the kit. And I've been wanting to do one of those wreath cards lately, the Gina K wreath builder things, but I don't have one. So I've been trying my own ways and it's just not been working. But look how perfect this wrapped around onto itself. Isn't that awesome? And I just lucked out with spacing it that far apart from each other. So I'm using my Copic markers, and I'm new to Copics, but I get it, and I've discovered how nice they blend, and I'm not new to color, so this is going to be fun for me. It is a recent gift, so I'm thrilled. I got a whole set, but I'm just trying to get this done fairly fast as well. Oh, and you see that little boo-boo there on the bottom left leaf? I'll fix that later. And I show a lot of this because I want to express how nice it is when you get a stamp set. You don't have to follow the lines. You can make your own little additions to it. You can, watch right here. There. See? Just add on to it if you think you need to fill in somewhere. So now I'm going to find a base from my stash that will go with the colors. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment that came with the kit and heat emboss it with gold embossing powder. Got to get rid of the fuzzies. Isn't that just the coolest thing? Man, I love that. So that's where I think, yeah, I went and matched up that same boo-boo. I mirrored it on all the other leaves, so it looks like it's supposed to be there. Nobody will ever know, and don't tell them. And just a few more touch-ups. Oh, that's where sometimes when you color over the black stamping lines, it fades them. So I wanted to brighten them up with black. Does that make sense? Now, one last embellishment, and I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't even look at the color palette of these butterflies. Those ones came with the kit, the ones on the left. But I had to go to my own stash and use one because the colors just didn't work. But that's not to say that you can do the same card with just a different color palette and use their butterflies. But I use their butterflies on something else anyway. And I think I use all of them, so it's fine. And then my last little embellishment, all these little stickers. That's that card. Let's go on to another one. So I'm using the same stamp again, and I'm going to stamp it in a border around this card and use up the inside too. And it kind of dips down there, and it makes for a perfect opportunity for me to cut the sentiment in half and stagger it. I think it looks cool like that anyway. And I bring in my good old Prismacolor pencils. So now back to my good old bases from Michael's. And I attach my panel, and there you go. All right, so now I'm going to do 2 cards for the price of 1. And I'm showing you this card because I was going to use it as my inspiration. Well, actually, I did use it as my inspiration. And I learned this from Jennifer McGuire. And what's so cool about it is that you see how the butterfly pattern travels from the front panel all the way back to the past one there I'm showing you. But you've got that white border there. That's just so cool. And it's really easy to do. But what I didn't think of was the pattern paper that I chose didn't follow the rule. But I made it work anyway. So that's the pattern paper I chose. You'll see what I'm talking about. So what you do is you take one piece of paper and you cut it to be just under an A2 size base, and then you cut a panel out of that one. And so that gives you your second layer of pattern paper. So for me, I've got the dark base card and then the border of the pattern paper, which I'm putting on the second card right there. And then there's another layer of the dark color that I got from one of those card bases. So like I said, sometimes I use that as cardstock. So I've got alternating dark pattern, and the last layer I'm gonna lift with a little bit of foam. And I like to use double-sided tape to adhere my foam. I've tried glue, but it doesn't always seem to work good for me. So see there, I'm showing you the difference between the two. It really didn't matter the technique that I was using. It's just really a layered card now, but it's still pretty. So now I want to use those butterflies in this card since I did not use it in the other one. And I chose to make them a little bit different, one with a circle and one with an oval, and then I'm going to put a sentiment and a butterfly or 2 on top of there. And those butterflies are actually sticky and doubled layer. I didn't realize that at the time, and that's why I'm rubbing it in real hard right there, because I didn't think they were going to stick, and they didn't. But you can always use something else to adhere them with. And then after I basically finished right there, except for any additional sequins or sparkly things like those. And that's it for those 2, or so I thought. I just didn't like them. And so I tore them all up. And I tore the butterflies apart, and I gave myself twice as many by separating the 2 layers, and I cut myself a circle for the first card there that had the oval, and 2 triangles to make my little symbol that I always make. And this just ended up coming out so much better. That's the AA symbol. So then I put the butterflies back on there, but I put them in a circle around the symbol and to the left of the sentiment. And I just think those came out so much better. And those are some little tiny hearts that are actually used to put on nails. And I like them, but they're so tiny. They're difficult to work with. So that's it for those 2 cards. Let's see what else I can come up with. So now I'm going to use the cutting dies that came with the kit that make those cool cactuses, cacti. Either one is right. And I cut out some yellow and some pink and some blue. and flowers as well of all three colors, and the little container, terrarium, if that's what you call it. So I'm going to do a combination of pink, blue, and yellow for each card, but mixy-matchy. So one of them will have a pink cactus, one of them will have a blue cactus, and one of them will have a yellow cactus. But the accents will all be one of the other two colors. You'll see what I mean. Those flowers right there, I took the time to make them rounded and full with the dotting tool. You kind of rub into it with a little circle on I used a mat that was cushy, and it really does make the flowers look cool, but I just don't think it's worth it because they're going to get flattened in the mail anyway. Oh, and those three little happy birthday sentiments that I have there, they are not... They're like metal. They're like confetti that you put in a card. And right there, what I'm doing is I didn't like the white showing through from the double-sided foam tape underneath all the sentiments. So for the pink one, I found a pink marker, and I colored in all the white, and the blue, I found a blue one. See how cool they look? The yellow, you can see yellow underneath it. The pink, you see pink underneath it. But it's not the actual paper. It's the coloring of the foam. I love how these ones came out. And those little bugs I have had forever finally got a place to use them at. See what I'm talking about with the sentiment where it shows through? I was so proud of myself when I did that. Okay, so for my failed attempt of an Easter egg card, I used those pieces that I cut out and got into some real cool flower power feeling. And look how cute that came out instantly. And then I just really embellish it with some extra flowers and some hearts and some glitter. So now would be a great time for you to subscribe to my channel. Did you know that other people will find me more readily if more people subscribe? I don't remember the last time I used glitter like this, loose glitter like this. I like glitter paper, but not loose. And then I took double-sided tape, and I was off screen. You couldn't see me putting it on the edge of that blue panel there. You see how it's got the glitter on it? So it looks like glitter paper, but it's only that side, so you don't waste a lot of glitter paper. So there's that card for you. It's a new day. It's a new card. Finally, I'm on to card number 10. I was almost done with the video and I realized I didn't have 10 cards, so I had to make another one. And I thought I'd never really seen anybody do much with the little arch with the two hearts on it in the cutting day on all the videos that I've seen on YouTube. So I thought I'm going to give this a shot and see what I can do with it. And I know that it's geometric, and I know that it's most likely been measured to go together in a certain pattern, and it did. It fit just perfect. If you mounted two hearts right on top of each other, it made like a perfect little roundy square. So I did that with all three colors. Still at this point, though, I'm not sure where I'm going with it. I just know that something's going to have to work. It's just going to have to. And I don't know what made me choose that color palette, but I did. So really, the only things in this card are those die cuts, the crazy ones. That's when I finally found out, oh, I can link them and overlap them and make it look like I think it's called a Celtic cross. It's a tricky optical illusion thing. And now I'm going to cut it out by hand because I can't run that through the die cutting machine because I have little foam adhesives on the back of those hearts, and that didn't work. So anyway, now I'm on to a new idea, which is to add at least a dry embossed panel on the front. And that's looking good. So I got that going with another shade of gray. And now I guess I had taken off those dots and put some new ones back on or something, because that's what it looks like I did. This card took forever. And I realized I needed something else, so I had to dig in my stash. This is my dollar store opened basket. I have another dollar store unopened. This is so much fun. So now I found black. I sort them by color sometimes, and I found those black and silver flourishes. I've had those for, gosh, when I first started. That was one of the very first things I remember buying, and I decided I didn't like those stickers, and this one fit much better with the color. It's pulling in some silver now at this point. Finally, it's starting to come together. Finally. And with those last finishing touches, it looks great.